The current NTP versions in use are version 3 and version 4. If you want to use NTP for IPv6, you have to use version 4. Also, NTP version 4 introduces better security. And since NTP version 4 is for IPv6 and broadcasts don't exist, we're going to use multicast messages with NTP version 4. So here's how we can set up NTP for an IPv6 environment. Specify who the NTP server is going to be. So in this case, are we setting up this device as the server, the master? No. We're pointing to an authentic time source. And it's at this particular IP address. And we're going to use version 4. Here's the command we can use for peering with another device. NTP peer. There is the IPv6 address of the peer and using version 4. So we can have our router in our organization, for example, peering with an authentic time source, an accurate time source on the internet using this NTP server command. We can have another router doing the same thing, and it might be to a different NTP server. That way there, if one fails, we can use a different one. But then we have peering between those two routers to make sure that if for some reason one of them loses their time source, they can then use each other for backup purposes. And then devices behind them. What command are we going to use? NTP server command. So set up these devices with the NTP server command, specifying the IP addresses of the devices in front of them, and specify the version number of 4. So we still have that stratum level, even though we're using IPv6. Stratum 1 is that server out on the internet, and then stratum 2, the servers or routers in our organization that are pointing to those accurate time servers on the internet, and then behind them, stratum level 3 and 4 and 5 and so on and so forth, depending on how deep we want to go in the hierarchy. So here's some commands that we can utilize to verify NTP. We have show clock, which allows us to verify our system software clock. So is that really verifying NTP? Well, not directly, but it's allowing us to verify if we have the correct time. It's allowing us to see if our clock is what we expect it to be. Show NTP associations, however, is going to allow us to verify who we have set up as potential NTP servers, and it'll also verify which one we are currently synchronized with. But if you want to see specifics about your NTP status, meaning are you synchronized, what is your stratum level, and who you're synchronized with, you're going to use the show NTP status command. If you need to verify if you have authentication, meaning you've successfully authenticated with the server, then you're going to use show NTP associations detail. The output of detail will let you know if you are authenticated or not. And then if you need to debug NTP, you can do so using debug NTP, and look at all the different options you have for debugging NTP. One of my favorite ones is debug NTP events. Gives me a lot of output of the events that are going on with NTP. But then again, you can just type in debug NTP packets and get all the information that you need in regards to the NTP packets if you are troubleshooting NTP associations that are not working as you intended.